Hi, ESM family. How's everybody doing? How's the new year going for all of you? We're nearly midway through Jan. So I hope it's all begun well for you, and I hope you're all looking forward to a good year. Now, friends, I posted a poll recently in the group, and it was about what is your number one source of stress. So, among all the people who answered that poll, a majority of them talked about work and money as their biggest source of stress. And the reason I clubbed the two together, even though I posted them separately as options, is because of a statistic that I saw that was released by the American Stress Institute. And their data was that the most common source of stress for Americans was work and money. And according to their survey, it was over 65% as a contributor towards stress. And you know what, friends? Our sample size was obviously very small, but if you add the number of responses for work and money, it was almost the same in terms of percentage. It was about 62 or 63% who said that work and money were the biggest source of stress. So that's interesting, isn't it? As a discovery. So I thought about it and I thought, well, it's actually not surprising. Because when you think about it, let's take money first. Now, there is this famous expression that money can't buy happiness. But it certainly buys a lot of other things that contribute towards happiness. Would you agree with me on that? Like, can you tell me that the last time you bought something that you desired, could be a large screen television, could be a car of your choice, can you tell me that it didn't make you happy, even for a short while? I know it doesn't produce everlasting happiness, but it does contribute to at least limited time of happiness, right? So money does contribute towards happiness in some way, shape, or form. And there's all the other aspects. Security, the feeling of security, financial security. The freedom and flexibility that having money can offer you. And then, of course, meeting your basic needs as well as your comforts. And therefore, not having money causing stress is not surprising at all. Or not having enough money that you expect, perhaps. And then there's work. Now, given how much time we spend at work, it's not surprising, is it, that work is a big contributor towards stress. I mean, if you take a normal day and if you sleep 6 to 7 hours, and if you count the number of hours left as your waking hours, at least 10 hours, if not more, is spent at work, traveling to work, at work, and getting back from work. So it's not at all surprising that work and money are huge contributors as sources of stress. Now, another interesting statistic that I think we should all pay heed to that the American Stress Institute put out was that the percentage of people who regularly experience physical symptoms caused by stress. Can you guess how much that would be? 77%. So 77% of the people who were surveyed said that their stress was causing physical symptoms. Fatigue was one of them. Think of it. Sometimes, we get back from work, we haven't done any physical work at all. We might have been at our desks or at our computers, and yet when we come back, we feel so tired that we are hardly able to lift a finger at home. So that's stress that's affecting your physical body and making you tired. Headaches caused by stress. I can remember a job that I was in where I used to get headaches every day, 5 days a week. On the odd day that I didn't have a headache, it was a glaring exception. Muscle tensions, all those tensions or knots and tightness we feel in our neck and shoulders and so on. All of that brought about by stress. And some people get, stomach cramps and tightness in the stomach. And then, of course, there are the more serious physical symptoms, which is, leading to high blood pressure, diabetes, strokes, heart attacks. And it's all because our mind, which is where most of the stress emanates, because our stresses are brought about by our thoughts about certain things that are happening around us or to us. So the mind affects our bodies because it is our control center. It's the mind that controls all the other parts of the body, the brain that controls all the other parts of the body. So being the control center, everything that happens there tends to reflect in the other parts of our bodies. Think of nightmares. That's a beautiful example for how the mind affects the body. Have you had a nightmare where someone's trying to kill you or something like that? I've had some nightmares like that, A guy is running after me with an axe. And when I open my eyes, what do I feel? Well, one is, of course, a sense of relief that it was only a dream or a nightmare. But if you've had any nightmares like that, what have you experienced when you've woken up? Did you feel a sense of your heart racing, beating really fast? Did you find that you were sweating? Now, isn't it amazing that when we are awake, we have to exercise a lot to raise a sweat? The treadmill, we are religiously pounding away on the treadmill or on the pavement as we go for a run, all that to break out a sweat. But your mind goes, you know what, you're asleep, you're not moving a finger, but I'll raise a sweat for you. Isn't it amazing? And that's the control that the mind has over our bodies. And have you experienced sometimes that the same event happening to different people causes different responses? I can give you an example once again from my life. I remember being in meetings where sometimes, the whole team is being taken to task. Things haven't gone well and the boss is angry. So he's letting rip. He's giving us all a serve. And often I find that, some people come out of that meeting feeling really agitated, angry, upset, because they don't feel they're responsible for certain things that the boss was holding them responsible for. So they might come out feeling really stressed out, really upset. And then there'll be these other people who just come out of the meeting and maybe they just jump onto their computer and they're on the internet checking out personal stuff. Least affected. And when the person who's stressed out goes and asks this guy, who seems to be really calm about it, hey, what do you think of what happened in the meeting? And this guy, cool as a cucumber, turns around and says, what? Well, don't you think, the manager was not right in having a go at us like that? What the hell does he think? And this guy, Mr. Cool, says, oh, he's a manager, he's a boss, that's his job. I don't give a fuck, Sorry, pardon my French. But there are people like that who take it so easy that it doesn't stress them out at all. And so, my question at the end of this video would be just for all of us to think about, is there a way you can train your mind to respond differently to the triggers that cause us stress? So that's some food for thought until we meet again. Take care. Bye-bye.